Hey Crestwood, happy Wednesday to you. Hope you guys are doing well on this Wednesday, November 29th, almost December. Crazy to think about that. There's so much going on as we move into the season of Advent, and I hope you can join us for all of it, though. All church Christmas caroling, the Christmas dinner, the Advent workshop this Saturday, decorating the sanctuary, all the kind of stuff that's going on. I hope you can be a part of it and join in this season of anticipation and excitement of the birth of the Christ child. For today, I'm honored to bring you this devotional for this Wednesday, November 29th. And today I'm thinking about perspective. I want to tell you the story. So there was a farmer and his wife that had twins, and they noticed as the twins started to grow up that one twin was an extreme optimist and one twin was an extreme pessimist, and they kept getting more and more extreme. So they decided to take the kids to a child psychologist to see if they could kind of get at the root of why they were so extreme, one so pessimistic, one so optimistic. So the child psychologist puts one of the twins in a room full of toys and leaves them there to play. That's the pessimist. And then the child psychologist takes the optimist and puts that child in a room that's got a big pile of manure in the middle of it. And so a half hour later, they go back to see what the kids are doing. The child that's the extreme pessimist is sitting in a corner and refusing to play with the toys because they're not the right toys, and the child's afraid that the toys will break, and so isn't even touching them. And then they go to the room with the extreme optimist and the pile of manure, and the optimistic child is digging through the manure, looking, continuing to dig. And the child psychologist said to the kid, why are you doing that? And the kid said, well, with all this manure, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. It's all about perspective, isn't it? We choose how we see what life presents us. Life presents us a pile of toys, and we don't engage because we're afraid to break them. Life presents us a pile of manure, and we look for the good in there. You know, the end of Psalm 23 says, surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. I wonder sometimes if we get so busy worrying about what's around us that we don't realize that goodness and mercy are right behind us. They are following us all the days of our lives. That's about perspective. As we move into this busy season where we're going to be distracted 100 different ways by bells and whistles and lights and tinsel and all the things that will distract us, I really encourage you to stay focused on the promise of Scripture and the promise of Emmanuel, God with us. Goodness and mercy is following us every single day of our lives. It's up to us to choose the perspective of whether we see that or not. Now, the reality is that life doesn't always feel good or merciful. Life sometimes feels like it's a pile of manure, if we want to be honest. But there's always God present in the midst of that somewhere. God is the pony in that story. If we look, God is there. Goodness and mercy are there, even if we got to dig through a little bit of manure to see them. We choose how we see the circumstances that life presents us. We can let them control us, or we can control them by recognizing that even in the most difficult of circumstances, God is there with us. I know the holiday season can be difficult for those of us who have lost loved ones, or going through difficult transitions, or enduring the breakup of relationships. There's always a reason for us to choose the pessimistic perspective. There's always a reason that we can look down on what's going on. But because of Emmanuel, because we know God is with us, there is always the perspective of hope and optimism. And that's what Christ reminds us, that no matter what our circumstances are, there's always a reason to have hope, because we know, because of God's promises, that God is with us in the midst of it. So, Crestwood, I want to encourage you as we move into this season to find the places of hope and joy to celebrate. Sometimes they're right on the surface. Sometimes you don't have to do any digging because life is good and we are blessed and God is just radiating joy around us. But sometimes it's a little bit harder. Life is a challenge. Things aren't going our way. And we have to be intentional about focusing on the goodness and mercy that is following us. I want to encourage you, Crestwood, to do that. Every single day, look for goodness. even on the hard days. Take a walk, look for goodness around you. Keep a goodness journal where you're writing down the good things that happened that day. The more we are intentional about looking for and seeking the goodness around us, the more that will naturally become a part of who we are, and we will be like that optimistic child who, even when we're presented with a pile of manure, has hope that there's a pony in it. God bless you, Crestwood.